Hello, this is Hamza. I'm going to explain the steps I have done so far for Python assignment 2. Just basically import the random as required, which is going to create random numbers for user to calculate two numbers and require the result from the user. Basically, I just mounted my Google Drive account to the Colab, which is from Google Colab Import Drive, and I'm just going to run this line of code. And what I have done here, I import the operating system, which is running with file and path for the working directory. I have changed the directory of my working area to the Colab notebooks which I want. And what I have done, I just handled the exceptions. The first thing first, I have tried to solve the step which is trying to open the score text and measuring the size. If the size is empty or there is nothing inside the file, basically going to welcome the math user. And if it is not empty, if something written inside the file is going to show the content of the file to the user. What I have done here, just reading and writing the score here. The score, we are going to just save the file, which is this file, later on, which is a user enter the result of the question. For here, if the file is not found, basically if there is nothing there, creating a new file and calling score.txt. For operating system, it's if the reading file is having the problem, it's giving this error, and for other exceptions, kindly giving this message to the user. Just quickly going to run. I just run and it shows me this line of the code, which I have just tried if it is working correctly before recording. And now here I defined a function. It's basically calculating the numbers and basically creating two random number between 1 and 10, and another list for this kind of the operator for calculating two numbers and randomly putting one of this operator between two numbers and asking for the result to the user. And if the calculation and if the choice is plus, it's basically taking number 1 and number 2, which is created randomly, and asking the user if they can find the result for adding, for minus, for multiply, and for divide. And it's basically just it's basically calculating the result. If the result and input is same, which means one of this, it's basically printing a congratulations message and increasing the score if the answer is correct, and else if the answer is not correct, it's taking one score from the current score. So, and this one, it's just printing the score and opening the score file, this one, and writing the score which is increase it or decrease it, and then closing the file. And here just making a loop while it's true, and I just make the answer as default and start while. Later I'm requesting from the user if whatever they put, if the input from the user is not Y, small y or capital Y, you're just going to crash the loop and exiting the loop, this inner loop, and then running this code, this piece of the code here. Basically, this answer is Y. It's going to call this function above and making calculation, reading in the file, and printing here, and giving the result to the user. I'm just going to give a try here. It's 24, continue, it's Y. Let's put wrong answer. Yeah, it gave me wrong answer, and basically my score is decreased. I'm just going to quit. Yeah, this is the end. I'm just going to run the above code to show the result which I have write to the score.txt file. Yeah, this is my result, what I have done. And it was part A, and now I'm going to explain for part B. It's all about for the quadratic formula and discriminant. Just write down a welcome message, and this is the formula which I write down as requested, asking for the user inputs for A, B, and C. Let me just go ahead and run this code line by line. Here I'm just going to enter 1 for A and 5 for B and 6 for C. And now here it's going to take all this value from the user input and taking those inputs put here and showing the result as requested, and creating a function which is calculating the discriminant and just returning that discriminant. And we are going to use this one later on. Here I just basically import the math and then I take the result of this discriminant function and then assign to value disk, and I take the square root and assign to the delt, and calculate here two roots, which is a formula coming from the above this formula, and this is for root 1 and this is for root 2, and I said if the discriminant is above, it's greater than 0, it's calculating as it's calculated, and it's taking both x1 and x2 roots and showing the result. And if it is equal to the 0, it's basically just printing 1, root 1, and if it is less than 0, there is no root for the printing. And let me just run this piece of code, and here is the code. This is the discriminant, means root, and this is the discriminant, and this is root 1, and this is the root 2. And what I have done here, I am going to write and save this line of the result and this line of the result to a file which called quad equation with quadeq.txt. I have just created this one if it doesn't exist and close the file, and I opened the file and I just enter my first code above here and the second code which is coming from this if statements, and I close the file. And this is for the writing and saving, and this is for reading. Just read line by line and print and close the file. Thank you.